the Town Council meeting for Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. We always begin with a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Connie Reed.
Here.
Carl P. Hay.
Present.
Jacob Puckett.
Here.
Ryan Hill.
Here.
Scott Glover.
Here.
Okay, so we will review the minutes of the February 4th regular meeting. Are there any questions about the meeting so far, or the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the February 4th regular meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, those minutes pass. And then we have the approval of minutes from the special called meeting on February 20th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes have been approved. We move to the public comment section portion of the meeting. So, get the sheet here. Too many papers. I believe the only person we've had sign up to speak is Mr. Thomas. Yes, so can you come on up, please? And will you make sure the microphone is turned on, please?
Yeah, it's working, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, go ahead.
So, yeah, I know we're talking about the social media policy tonight, and I'll just kind of be upfront and just straightforward with it, and after this I'll say my piece. So, I'm the owner of Sweet Teas here in White Bluff, and, you know, we try our best to get as much kind of exposure and things like that, and over the last year or so, kind of almost after I bought the business, all business postings about my business stopped. You know, and it's something I've just been keeping track on over time. You know, between December 4th and this January 9th, I've had 30 interactions from my business page to the Town of White Bluff page to let them know that, hey, I am here. And, you know, and then I'll a couple times I've made comments, like on January 5th, I said, hey, thanks for sharing, you know, like the Buffaloes page, like I love the Buffalo. But, you know, I just hate when we get that same respect, no response. I sent a private message from my personal to the Town of White Bluff page. Hey, can you share Sweet Tea's page? You know, no response. And I just, you know, I look at this, I just want to make sure that whatever we do, we're doing it fair across the board. You know, that, you know, when we're looking at why we're posting people's businesses, you know, because you look at the policy, it says, hey, you're going to engage in registered business of White Bluff and dialogue about the town, about the news, job opportunities. You know, last year I've had one or two hiring posts that didn't make it. See, I had the tasting contest where the Predators mascot, the Buffalo, and the Give and Gobble 5K mascot came to my business. Had a pretty low turnout on that. The Valentine's dinner last year, similar thing, never got posted. I won Best Dessert, you know, it's finalist for Best Catering of the county. No posting about that. I've had the #1 competitive eater Australia come here to eat, and he was in the post, and none of that was covered. I had my ribbon cutting. You know, I know I'm the second owner of Sweet Teas, but still, you know, it was a milestone that gets coverage on the ways. And then, you know, the one good thing was like the Town of White Bluff event page. I know that's managed by a different person, and you know, I donated to the raffle for Christmas, and that was shared. So I do appreciate those things. I appreciate the parts where we do it right. This is the parts where we're not. You know, because I went business by business, and I wanted to see how postings were going, how it was directed. So like Buffalo had 13, Serendipity had 1, Fat Tiger 13, Ciego Marine, which is out of the city limits, had 12, Dairy Queen had 0, but they had a job posting in March 23. Top 10's already had 3. Pagan Pub 17, White Bluff Ballet 0, Ace Harbor 3, Salt and Pepper 3, Pappy's 8, Farms 2, Nan's 12, El Campo 4, Wendell Smith Restaurant in Nashville got 1, The Lodge got 8, Chapel's got 2, Dixon Drawing Club at Pumphrey Beer, Dixon, they got 1, the Chambers got 4, the Jordan Storage got 1 for a rental, Duke's Downtown Dixon and the Catfish Kitchen. So if all those businesses can get their output, and I'm right here in town, I shouldn't have to sit there and hesitate to get, what's fair. So as we look over the policy, let's try to figure out what we can do to keep it all kosher across the board. That's all I got.
Okay, we do not have any public hearings tonight. Communication from the mayor. I do have something to share with all of you. And Dixie Kerr is going to come up to talk about the, this is the American Cancer Society cancer auction.
Yes. So, I know a lot of you know, last year we were asked to participate in the celebrity bagging at the CB store for the Cancer Society, and some of you were so gracious enough to help. We raised more than double of any of the other CB stores in the county, so we're pretty proud about that. So this year when they called and asked us to participate in that again, they also asked if White Bluff would like to have a day. I know Charlotte and Dixon both have a day. I'm not sure about like Van Lear, but so I said, of course we want to have our day. So before I tell you about our day, I did get a few fun facts about the Dixon County Cancer Crusade Auction. The auction serves as a fundraiser, a volunteer opportunity, and a community awareness event for the whole month of April. It was started in 1958 by medical professionals, and after time they got a little busy, so they handed it off to their wives to coordinate. 200 to 250 businesses from Dixon County participate in the cancer auction every year. All money raised goes to the Cancer Society. In 2024, Dixon County raised $82,000, which was the highest amount in over a decade. The White Bluff CB store had the highest raised in the celebrity bagging competition of all the other grocery stores. The auction runs every weekday in April, not on weekends. Listen to the auction at 2 p.m. weekdays on 101.5, the one throughout the month of April. Auction items, you can see them in person at Tensco Community Center, and you can follow them on Facebook at Dixon County Cancer Auction for daily posts and updates. So I did put everybody a flyer in their packet, and it's maybe at the bottom, but it is just telling you a few things, what's going to go out to the community. We are going to ask for business support. We're going to ask some churches and the community, and we're going to ask them to donate anything sales, gift cards from businesses, baked goods from the church ladies, or gift baskets, anything that any business or community member can put together. If you want to, our day is April 2nd. We're the newbies, so we got an early date in the month, and they say the earlier dates don't raise as much because people aren't into the auction as much early on. But we took what we could get, and we're gonna, if anybody wants to drop anything off, we're gonna get the word out that they can drop it off here, and then we will take it down there and drop it all off at Tensco for the cancer auction. So I'm gonna put that out to everybody, and I just wanted y'all to be aware before I did. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so we will move on to budget and finance and review the January 2025 financial statement.
This coming year, we want to be around 59%. If we're in the revenues, we want it to be above that. If we're in the expenditures, we want it to be below that. It looks like everything is right around that, except for in the police department. I pointed that out, the cars So that put them at like 97.7% in their expenditures. But that's also located in the revenues because it's a come in, go out. It is the miscellaneous where it says it's 767 above. That's where the loan amount went to. So, if you go to the Tennessee Local Government Investment Pool, we are in January. We have earned $137,202.25 since we've had it in there since August of 2023. And what we've earned this fiscal year is located next to that. So it's $55,172.76. And that brings our total that we have in the account to $1,937,210.85. And you can see that balance on this fact sheet, the statement from what?
That's it. This is 1,929,995.
I think that's the daily,
December.
Sorry. Okay, well, on that back one, this is January.
Why are, just curiosity, why are our business taxes so low, and when can we blame Brian?
Okay, Brian.
But seriously, no, anyway.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things that I would like to do next year is get a software from local government that has business taxes in it to where we can actually have all of that right there instead of getting on the state website. We'll know all the businesses in our town, what they've paid, if they've renewed their license. But right now, we're kind of working off of the state website. So whatever the state gives us is, like when we get on there, that's what we see. So.
Is that like a delay as far as their reporting?
Well, so if I get on the state website and I pull up all of the locations we have in our town, I don't see a lot of those. So it would be more accurate if we had our own system for that. I actually have that, but I wasn't going to present it until budget time.
The times we don't know anything on that.
Well, just because that's when I wanted to offer it to you guys to say, hey, this is how much it is, and
Could you use it before that?
could I use it before that? I mean, we've got until June, so I think that I can still work off of the state website until then. Yeah.
So is that just a matter of us collecting it from the state, or we're just?
No, they do give that to us, but that is for the standard business license, so you have to be over a certain amount for it to be considered a standard, and that's what we get from the state because they actually do those. They've dropped off the minimals just to the town, so anything that is under a certain amount, we have to keep up with. So that's where we get into the, 5 years down the road, they got their 1 year, but they're still doing business. This way we can keep up with it and kind of knock on doors.
Mm-hmm.
and our business taxes, are they paid quarterly from the state, or is it monthly when they get that?
I believe that's quarterly, but I'd have to check just to make sure.
Not monthly.
No.
I think that might be part of it. Kind of. Okay, any other questions about the January 2025 financial statement? If not, we will move on to code and permits. We are going to consider on first reading the rezoning request for parcel, well, it's actually map 96, parcel 016.06 from R1 low density to R3 high density residential. and you should all have that in your packet, item number 4. Amanda is not here tonight. Jeff, did you want to speak on that?
Sure. If you recall, this is the parcel that the town annexed several months ago. Everything around it was in the town, but that parcel had been left out. The new owner wanted to get the parcel in the town and then has requested a rezoning to R3 to conform with everything around it.
There we go.
In view of the staff recommendation and the zoning around it, I will move to approve this rezoning request from R1 to R2.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Comments?
Close the donut. Pretty windy outside.
Okay, so yes. Okay, well, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Easy.
So that'll come back next month with the public hearing.
Okay, so moving on to consider the first reading of the ordinance to amend section 3.110.1, parentheses 4, the native and drought tolerant vegetation of Article 3 in the landscape screening buffering requirements of the White Bluff zoning ordinance. I don't believe there's been any changes since Thursday. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that?
So make a motion to approve the ordinance,
Okay.
the amendment of it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? No. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
That'll also come back with the public hearing next month.
Okay. Okay, so moving on to our building permit report. Do you want to discuss, Jeff?
Yes, ma'am. So for the month of February, there were 4 residential building permits and 1 pool permit.
So I know where I'm going this summer.
Okay, does anyone have any questions about the building permit report? Okay, so after building permit, we have the police department's report. Chief Bolter.
This month, we had 354 calls for service. Of that, 157 traffic stops, 92 citations were issued, 56 warnings, 15 arrests, and 1 DUI. We also did impound a few cars this month. Try to recoup some of our impounding fees a lot, so.
I just had a curiosity question. So if you give somebody that's got, say, the wrong tags on a car, what happens from that point? Like you pull them over and they don't match?
Normally, we would just write them a citation. However, if it's, if it's an alter tag, if the driver is suspended, some other charge like that, we will tow it. Lately, I've been having the guys to drive the vehicles to the tow lot. Saves $375 for the owner of the vehicle. If they pick the car up, it saves the town $375 if they don't.
Right.
So that's what we've been doing, trying to do lately.
Any questions?
If
next we have the fire department's report.
Yes, I think we should have copies for everything, yeah. Anyone had recited, any questions? No, I stole your copy, and sorry, I was one short, there was 70 total calls, so, 48 inside the city, 18 outside, I'm sorry, 48 in the city, 18 outside the city, and 4 mutual aids. With an update on the truck, it's in Nashville, and waiting to be let, we're trying to get finished and delivered tonight, actually, but it didn't quite happen. And, that's all I got.
Structure fires or any homes lost or anything of that nature, it's small.
No.
What was going on Main Street this morning?
Oh, that's a call. That's all I got. You know more than that.
First
Rest of
time.
it's you, I can't really tell you.
Okay, and then we have the court report.
Mayor, number 9, the resolution.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Yes, the resolution. Yes, we do have a resolution to declare some property, surplus property. This is made up all of vehicles, correct? All vehicles.
Yes.
No changes since we discussed it Thursday evening. We all anticipate Brian Hill bidding on
Absolutely. Glover over here.
Just a reminder, it is sold as is, and the town assumes no liability. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any questions or discussion? How soon can this be put on the GovDeals website?
As soon as it can get processed, so, I mean,
Okay.
days, a couple weeks maybe.
Okay.
And they have to get pictures, get it up there, pretty quick.
Okay.
We'll let Mr. Hill know.
Yes, let me know.
That's the one you're getting, right?
Yes. Me and Glover over here.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now the court reports.
Yes, ma'am. For February, there were 58 total cases in court, 7 criminal, and 51 traffic.
Out of curiosity, the request from our judge for those monitoring devices, will we see that again at budget time, is that, and we'll decide on that? Or is that something, I forgot, if that falls under your purview?
I think that will be purchased prior to the next fiscal year. And we'll bring that back up in just a moment, I believe. And so next on the agenda, if I'm on track here, is the social media policy. Yes, under new business. I'm sorry, you were discussing old business? Yes.
I thought court, so not brain just went there.
Oh, okay, yes.
Well, I think what we talked about Thursday night was the judge and Andrew is going to work to put something together, and then it'll come back to you.
Thank you for refreshing.
Okay, so now moving on to the social media policy. Everyone has a copy, and so this is the original social media policy from 2017. Has not been updated, since then. No? Okay. So everyone's had a chance to review this, correct? Yes. Does anyone have any comments that they would like to add to it or any revisions?
I would like to suggest, as we talked about in our other meetings, that perhaps we steer away from sponsoring businesses on the White Bluff page and just keep it official town business, and then maybe at some point later, through the Parks Department or somewhere, come up with a new website that sponsors businesses and public events separate completely from our town our town website. I don't take anything away from Trey. I want him to get, advertising as well. I think trying to mingle it in with the city page is a little bit complicated. And I don't want anybody to get slighted, and I feel like this will be, the best way to remedy any of that or any complaints that we're not doing our part to sponsor a certain business. I only got 8. What's up with that? Why did I only get 8? But I do see how, I absolutely see how that some could get missed or not get as much coverage as others. And I think a lot of that has to do with how much you post on Facebook. We don't post a lot, so I could see why we don't get picked up a lot. But that's my recommendation.
The only thing I would edit, and this would just be more of a item of clarity, where it talks about, the purpose, and we're specifically saying job opportunities, and then the lattering where it says, and other matters of interest to social media users. I just find that personally is a bit vague, so if it could be easily solved by town job opportunities and other town matters of interest, just to provide more clarity to that way we don't have anyone come up here and go, well, I have a job, like I said, McDonald's is always hiring, that type of idea. We don't have any future businesses, and we don't have to revisit this again, to just be a little bit more clear that we're only talking about town items, not other items.
Like maybe just take out that wording, and other matters of interest.
Well, and if I may, Mayor, there's some things that probably need to be updated, that kind of guidance has come out over the last few years. If the councils obviously want all of your thoughts, but I would like to work with Jeff and the mayor on bringing a updated policy, not just deleting a line here and there. If we need, not like a complete overhaul, but a refinement. It's been almost a decade, and in internet years, that's like a century. So we probably should look back at it and make sure we're up to speed.
I would appreciate that. Do you need a motion to empower that?
That would be fine.
I move to authorize our council and our staff to update this policy and make recommendations.
Okay, do we have a second?
I will second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's passed. Okay. I believe that was all that we had on the business. Correct? Yes. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
You haven't even been home, have you? You haven't even been able to get home yet, have you?
I have been, I was actually off from work today.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely, yes.
You just found someone.
It has been like that.
Next month will be.
Hey,